legs are on fire. My heart is on fire. Any ounce of energy that is left in my body is going into this sprint. Since I started racing last year, it has completely changed how I see myself. When I get on my bike and I start moving, it's physical white noise. All of a sudden I can think about things. You got the wind rushing past, and you just zone out. Before every race, you're so nervous. But as soon as that whistle blows, that all has to melt away. It's almost like I race because you told me I can't. Because you told me I shouldn't be here. Today, I win.
Normatec recovery systems give you a high-tech compression massage for warm-up pre-workout and recovery post-workout.
The technology is very safe and is used by a broad range of athletic types and really any fitness enthusiast looking to get the most out of their workout.
The whole idea is that we're using air compression to help increase circulation in the body. We wanted to mimic physiology, the way the body moves fluids. We went ahead and took a lot of those principles and put it into a system that you can use on your different extremities and your hips as well.
Normatec has been an industry leader in pneumatic compression, providing improved mobility and profound healing for thousands of patients. We continually work with researchers to study and develop the effectiveness of our technology.
It's all about creating that community space where people have a conversation around recovery and start really challenging their beliefs in what is possible and what they've known and maybe what could be.
The USA Cycling Foundation funds the Olympic dream and our nation's best young athletes, giving young riders the opportunities to compete at the highest levels of competitive cycling.
Riders who have represented the USA in the World Championships and the Olympics are an inspiration to all of us. The USA Cycling Foundation supports the complicated development process for these athletes. And that's critical not just for our best athletes, but also for developing the next generation of athletes. And this is only made possible by generous private gifts from cycling enthusiasts like you.
I am Taylor Wiles, and I'm a professional cyclist racing for Trek Drops and the U.S. National Team. The USA Cycling Foundation has supported me for nearly 8 years. The USA Cycling Foundation has been critical in supporting my career and helping me get over to Europe to race over there, racing at the World Championships, and the camps that we get to do to prepare for Nationals and World Championships are all supported by USA Cycling.
Hi, I'm Kate Courtney. I'm a professional mountain bike racer and part of the USA Cycling National Team and the current elite women's cross-country world champion. If USA Cycling hadn't supported me in my cycling pursuits, I'm not sure I would have had the opportunity or the ability to set my sights on really being competitive in Europe. Thank you to the USA Cycling Foundation for believing in me, for supporting me, and for continuing to encourage me and other riders like me to set their sights on the top level.
Please support our athletes and teams with a tax-deductible gift today. Visit our website to make a gift online. Your gift will fund training and racing development programs for our nation's best young cycling athletes. Please make a contribution today.
As an athlete, getting marginally better is one thing. Getting exponentially better puts you in a whole new ballgame. Biomoto uses a proprietary digital process to capture movement at 200 frames per second and 70 sensors per foot to measure ground-based forces, resulting in advanced motion analysis that's up to 10 times more accurate than orthotics. It's the data generated by this process that allows Biomoto to construct custom insoles that make athletes faster, stronger, and more stable, and result in an unprecedented 95% success rate.
Project Echelon is a veterans nonprofit organization that educates, equips, and empowers veterans through physical activity. Serving veterans from coast to coast, the Project Echelon racing team and its industry partners work to make the support of cycling more accessible to veterans and their families as a means of both physical and mental wellness. You can donate to support this cause at projectechelon.org.
My legs are on fire. My heart is on fire. Any ounce of energy that is left in my body is going into this sprint. Since I started racing last year, it has completely changed how I see myself. When I get on my bike and I start moving, it's physical white noise. All of a sudden I can think about things. You got the wind rushing past, and you just zone out. Before every race, you're so nervous. But as soon as that whistle blows, that all has to melt away. It's almost like I race because you told me I can't. Because you told me I shouldn't be here. Today, I win.
Welcome to the second edition of the Echelon Racing League. This week we'll be at the Tour of the Gila in virtual Silver City, New Mexico, coming off a rocketing Paterberg race at the RGT Railroads. Really a cracker of a race that Paterberg won 6 laps. This week we're with the Tour of the Gila, and then December 12th and 13th will be with Thompson Bucks County Classic and the Armed Forces Cycling Classic. Looking like we're going to have some pretty full fields today. The Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, and Cat 4 men will be all racing at the same time in separate fields, followed up at 3:40 p.m. Eastern by the women's Cat 1, 2, 3, 4 fields, all racing separate as well. Hope all our American viewers had a fantastic Thanksgiving week and are getting over their turkey comas now that we are moving into the weekend and being able to get out there and enjoy some beautiful fall weather. And thank you for tuning in to the race, to everyone across the globe. This is all made possible by Saris, Hyperice, Biomoto, RGT Cycling, and our governing body and partner, USA Cycling. The series is going to be made up of 8 race weekends, about 11 race days for the community races. The professional series will be doing 22 race days. The series is a mix of points-based weekends as well as true time-based stage races for the professionals. The amateur series is all points-based. They will be doing for the stage race weekends the queen stage of that, such as today with the Gila Monster. And then on the criterium weekends, such as the Bucks County and Armed Forces weekend, they will be doing both those courses. As that'll be followed by the Gateway Cup, which is a fantastic criterium weekend in St. Louis. 4 days of racing out there. If you can ever get out to it, highly recommend it. And then that'll be followed up by the stage race of Redlands Bicycle Classic, then Joe Martin stage race, Green Mountain stage race, and then capping off the series with the Tour of America's Dairyland. All of this is made possible through our streaming partners, EMS Livestream, really doing some fantastic work over there. And we're really excited to continue to improve our streaming experience for our viewers and our racers, as well as our race promoters, as we showcase these real life courses in a virtual environment. Looking like racing's going to kick off here in about 7 minutes. The pins are starting to fill up with the racers. Pretty decent field sizes today. We're going to have approximately 40 in the Cat 1 men, 25 to 30 in the Cat 2 men, about 20 in the Cat 3, and about 15 in the Cat 4. Be sure, as you're watching, if you do have any questions, make sure you throw some comments in there, whichever platform you are watching on, and we'll make sure we try to get answers on the live stream and in the comments section for those questions as they come up. Today's Gila Monster stage is going to be one of the longer events we've done in the series, and I think it's relatively long for a virtual event. This race will be approximately 74 kilometers with 1,150 meters of climbing. It should take the Cat 1 top 3 to top 10 about 2 hours and 15 minutes, I think. It just depends on how the racing plays out, but it's a cracker of a stage. It's gonna bite the legs quite a bit. This stage in real life is the same way. It's a all or nothing stage. There's no riding this easy. Really a great area, great race that's gone on for a number of years, and highly recommend if you ever get a chance to head to Silver City, New Mexico. And participate in the Tour of the Gila. Do not pass that up. It is a great event put together by some great people, and it's one you will always remember. Let's go ahead and look at the leaderboards and see where everyone stacks up coming out of the Paderborn stage from the RGT weekend. We've got in our Cat 1, Oliver Dow, who motored away from everybody, is leading the Cat 1 field with Melville in second, Hart in third, Post fourth, Project Echelon's John Hamlin in fifth, Restart Racing's Mike Swart in sixth, Restart Racing's Jaden Yeager in seventh, and The top 10 rounded out with Brazil, Wolf, and Wolfendorf. The Cat 2 is led by Rowbottom, Krajewski in second, Hartveld in third, Versick in fourth, Jansen in fifth, and then Nut Cooper, I'm going to butcher this, Gadziev, Nagebauer, and Oldham in rounding out the top 10 there. Gustavo Carcedo in first, Graham Beckett second, and Neil Pugh in third on our Cat 3. And then in our Cat 4, we have Suarez, Santiago, and Errett in our top 3 with Gus Guscott and Ross Poole in fourth and fifth. For those that don't know, Gus Guscott there is the creator of our results page. If you do want to go view any of these results as we go through the series, they'll have series results and stage results on the echelonracingleague.com under the results tab. All the information will be there. We recommend you go check it out while you're there. Check out all of our partnerships with Argon 18, Staris, Hyperice, and Biomoto for all of your recovery needs, bike needs, and trainer needs. So we're just about a minute to the start of the races. We're gonna have all 4 races up on the screen at once, and we're gonna jump to where the action is as we go. My personal assumption is that the 1s and 2s will finish probably 10 to 15 minutes before the Cat 3 and Cat 4. And so as we get closer to the finishes and when we get on the climbs for those riders, we will be focusing on those races as we go. Got some of our professional riders racing in the Cat 1 race today, doing a little course recon before the December 4th through 6th professional tour of the Gila on RGT cycling. It's going to be a 3-day stage race with a crit, a circuit race, and then this stage right here capping off the weekend on Sunday. Looks like we got some of the Above and Beyond Cancer guys as well as the Project Echelon folks lining up. If you've never ridden on RGT cycling, you'll notice the power to weight is the number just to the right of their names. When it's red, that is approximately double their FTP. It means they're really going hard and taking off. As you see, the Cat 1s are pretty much all together as they get up to speed. The Cat 2 took off like a rocket and really split the field there. Cat 3s are lined out single file, and the Cat 4s are doing the same. Really hot starts to these races, and we'll see how they settle in for this long endeavor of a day. Looking like everyone's settling in, everything's all together. Definitely some people hammering. Really interesting to see if the early breakaway goes. Trying to get a little time, a little distance on the main field before they hit the climb, so that they have a little buffer there. So a particular move for the folks who might not be able to hang on the climb with the true climbers to try to make it over the top before getting caught. So if you look, they under everyone's name is a little color bar. That is the power zone they are racing in right now. So everything's based off the Coggan principles for training. There's 5 power zones. I might screw this up, but it's recovery, endurance, tempo, threshold, VO2. VO2 is red, tempo is aqua, if you will, bluish. Or sorry, tempo is green, endurance is the bluish color. And they'll mostly be in the tempo today. You'll see yellow is threshold. They'll be in the threshold zone when they hit the climb, most likely. And you'll see those numbers go north. Looks like Matt Wheeler taking off there with a little attack in the Cat 1 race. Looks like he's going to try to get the breakaway going. Let's see if the field responds, or if they're going to let him ride away on this little rise. Looks like a little group of 3 is coming up to him and catching. Field's coming back together. I think we're going to have a little reset here as we work out the kinks in the beginning of the race. Just like a real race is, the first breakaway probably doesn't go, and if one is going to go, it'll be one of the counters. Really, it's going to be up to the field to give them the leash and not respond when those attacks go. Field's moving pretty well. Some hard efforts out there as, again, they're trying to get settled out, and a couple people getting floated off the back there. A little bit of a split there, it looks like, with 5 or 6 people just off the back of the main group. They should have no problem getting back on, though. I don't think, unless the field just continues to hammer. These Cat 2 guys are really going at it. Looks like they're doing close to the same speed as the Cat 1 race. I think where we're going to see the difference there is as we get into the hour and a half mark of the race. We're going to see those numbers come down a little bit for the Cat 2 field. Looks like down in the Cat 4 race, we've got one guy solo trying to get that gap and get that breakaway rolling. It's a long day to be out there by yourself, though. Looks like he's joined by a couple more, and it looks like that group has had looks like we've had a big split there, and we're down to 5 riders altogether. We'll see if they work together to keep this little group of 5 all together, or if they're going to attack each other and try to fight it out for the duration. See Tony Richardson on the webcam up there on the left, really putting out the power there. He's trying to get back on. He's gaining a little ground on those guys, and 360 meters. With this being such a long race, if he rides it nice and steady, he's got a good shot at getting back to those guys. Or maybe if that front group drops somebody, they might he'll be able to catch them and work with them as they go. It does look like this group is kind of settling out a little bit. Lynn putting in another little attack there, making the other guys jump in and jump to his wheel. Looks like we've got all together across all 4 races. The Cat 2 race is getting spicy with a group going off the front there a little, put in a little dig to try to get something going, and the Cat 1 is doing the same thing. think everyone's still a little fresh as they hit up this big false flat for the first 25K of the race. And I don't think we're really going to see anything happen. And as I say that, we realize Revel has gone off the front in the Cat 1 race, motoring at 5.5 watts per kilo. Really put in a large effort to open that gap up and stay off the front. It'll be curious to see what he settles in at once that gap is established with 70K of racing left, 68K of racing left. It's going to be, again, it's a long day to be out there by yourself. And there's not very many people, professional or otherwise, who can ride at 5 to 6 watts per kilogram for 2.5 hours. So Revel getting his name out there, getting off the front, a little camera time for himself as this race opens up. It'll be curious to see if he's joined by a group of riders who will form an actual breakaway of multiple people, or if the field's just going to motor to bring him back. Looks like we've got an attack in the Cat 2 race. A lot of numbers going red there. Really putting in some work, trying to break that field up a little bit. It's like Alex Rowbottom and Greenhall are really trying to get away. A lot of red numbers there from the field. A lot of emergent responding to Alex's initial attack there. Not sure if these three guys are all in the same jersey. Not sure if they're racing as a team or if they just happen to pick the same kit today. Looks like they've got a little bit of a split, but I think it's going to come back together. It looks like that back group is doing a lot of work to try to catch. And there we go. Yeah, field's all back together, but it is strung out. A little bit of a split there. Let's see if everyone gets back on. They are not going easy here. 9 minutes into a long day in the saddle. Again, if there's any questions from the viewers out there, make sure you put them in the comments and we can get responses to you as those questions come up. Revel is still off the front, but it does look like we've got some response from the field. His gap's really opened up there, and he's still settled in at 5 watts per kilo. I'm curious to see how long he can hold that. But it does look like he's going to have. Looks like the field is working together to bring him back. Not really any attacks going from the group to try to bridge to him. We'll see if all the teams can continue to work together to try to close that gap down to him. A lot of these guys racing this race, are used to 45-minute to 1 hour stages or virtual races. So I think, when we get to the 20 to 30-minute mark and they see the distance remaining, it kind of will be an eye-opener as to the need to settle down and gauge the effort a little better. A lot of times these races, you get out there, get the adrenaline going, get excited, and don't realize how hurt you are. Looks like we've got a little move in the Cat 4 race there with two guys getting a bit of a gap on their the other three people that they were working together with. Looks like Line and Hartley are trying to get something going, but it looks like the other three guys are going to bring it back together. They're pretty close to closing that gap. But Hartley is just refusing to let that happen. Really putting in a hard effort to kind of counter Line's move there and see if he can't put some pressure on those guys that are trying to close. But it looks like they're going to be single file. And we'll see if they continue to keep up this speed and this effort. Looks like we've got a little bit of action in the Cat 1 race here. Looks like our lone leader was caught, and now there's a reset within the field as they ride together. 64K to go in that race. They're about a half kilometer ahead of the Cat 2 race, which is about 2 kilometers ahead of the Cat 3 race, which is actually 0.2 kilometers behind the Cat 4 race. So the Cat 4 guys are really putting in that work, especially for just having 5, essentially doing a team time trial with the 5 of them to cover that remaining distance in the race. What's great about RGT, for those that have never done a ride or a race on it, is you look in the top left of the screen when you're drafting, it gives you a minimum number for draft and a maximum number to come around that rider and go up the road or go around that rider and take your pull. As you see there, it gives you the distance behind the rider, your watt savings, and what power you need to do to stay in the draft and what power you need to get around that guy. All of these power numbers, when we talk about the colors with the little gauge under their name, is all based off their functional threshold power, which the riders input themselves. So there is a bit of honesty there. So providing their numbers are accurate within their profile, the effort gauge below their name should be relatively accurate in showing you how hard they're riding. When the number turns red, that means they're wasting energy. It's effectively the virtual brakes being put on because of collision detection with the riders around them and just not having anywhere to go, or going through a turn. You can't take a turn at a 90-degree turn at 35 miles an hour. So the platform's physics will slow your rider down. And if you're still pedaling at that power with your number red, you're just burning matches for no reason. Looks like Mike Lister and his dirt compadres are on the front of the field there, driving the pace. Mike Lister runs the Magic Roads racing platform. If you're curious about it, RGT has the MRE TTT effort. You can see it on their rgtcycling.com under their events. It's a team time trial effort. It's a weekly series that goes on. The Project Echelon guys, myself included, participated in it this week with 3 of us. You're allowed you need a minimum of 3, and I think you're allowed up to 6. And it's a new course every week. It's a fantastic event. It really helps teach you about the physics of the game and learn how to draft and how to pass and how to gauge your effort. Really highly recommend it. The RGT platform, the basic membership is free to use, and you get the majority of the courses as well as participation in any events you want to take part in. Looks like we had a little group of 4 go off in the Cat 2 race there, and they got caught and are getting countered. In the Cat 3 race, we've got 2 guys putting in a pretty big effort trying to get that breakaway established. Looks like Robinson is on the front there trying to bring it back as he touches into the red a little bit as these 2 guys really settle in. And there we go. They're all back together now. Doesn't look like any of the fields really want to give any trust to someone going up the road there. Everyone's super responsive and really trying to stay there. We got Melville, one of the community riders, going up the road here in the Cat 1 race. Lots of response from the field with posts going into the red to try to shut that down. Mike Lister's now taken over and looks like it's going to come back. I'm really curious to see if someone tries to counter immediately. It doesn't look like it. It looks like it's a catch and set up situation in the Cat 1 race here as they bring Millville back into the fold. Looks like down in the Cat 4 race, Lynn is really trying to get away again, this time bringing Suarez with him. Hartley and his two compadres are trying to get back in touch. But it does look like Lynn's gap might be sticking there. Suarez now pulling through and attacking Lynn as the Hartley Eric Kilness group almost makes contact with him. And by the gauge there, it looks like Suarez has just settled into his threshold effort and is essentially just doing a time trial now. Getting a little bit of gap as it opens up a bit. Lynn trying to get onto that wheel, get that draft effect so he can save some power there. The rule of thumb there is, at race speed, it's about 10 to 20% power savings when you're sitting in the draft. The faster you go, the bit more savings you get, and where in the group you are as well. But it is worth it to sit on that wheel and try to get some savings hiding from the wind there. So we're going to go back and look at all the fields here as they go. Suarez is still riding away, but we'll see how long that can stay. All the fields are together still in this long false flat that takes the first third of the race. Just a long drag uphill. It looks like Lynn has caught Suarez, and the two of them have a good distance on third, fourth, and fifth there, and we'll see if they continue to work together to open that gap further. Looks like in the other three fields, everything is really settled down, and everyone's taken a little, it's that race start breather to kind of take an assessment of where everyone is, what kind of destruction has occurred within the group, who's been dropped, what teammates you still have with you. A lot of these teams that are organized in clubs communicate with each other on things like Discord, have chat. Looks like we've got a big attack up this little rise in the Cat 1 race, going up about 4%. A lot of red numbers there, really stringing the field out single file as they get up over this little rise. Revel putting in a big dig as we get up, try to get over this little crest. He can get a couple guys with him working together, and it's the right mix. The if you get someone with a team in the race, that team can go to the front of the field and kind of slow the field down a little bit. Very similar to real life racing. We saw in the very first test event, Restart Racing do that with Jaden Yeager going up the road and his Restart teammates going to the front of the race and kind of disrupting the chase, allowing him to solo in with Project Echelon finishing second just behind him in a late attack trying to catch. In the Cat 2 race, we've got Alex. This is up that same little incline. Alex has a nice little gap here, settling in his threshold effort there. That gap seems to be growing a little bit. It looks like they're a little anxious to catch. We'll see if someone attacks out of there and tries to bridge up to him, or if they're just going to let him dangle off the front of the field and burn some matches before they bring him back. I think we're still way too far out for a solo attack to be successful. 58K by yourself it's a long day and a lot of effort to do that. So Alex is caught. Falls right into the draft there, gets a little recovery. So it does look like in the Cat 4 race, Lynn and Suarez have picked up Hartley, who has bridged up to him, and the three of them have a pretty good gap on Arid and Kilness. And it looks like the three of them are working together pretty well to open that gap further. The rest of the fields are all together still. A little bit of, we'll say, reduction in numbers in those front groups, but still relatively the race is all together. Cat 2 looks to be getting a little stretched out, a little single file there. And it looks like we've got another little attack in the Cat 2 race. Looks like they're just stringing it out, trying to make it hard for everyone to hold on. You are getting some power savings when in the draft, but you're still having to put out power. And if a team continues to do that, they can wear it down and get you caught off guard on your back foot. And the next thing you know, you've drifted off the back a little, and then you've got to put in a really big effort to get back up. Looks like in the Cat 4 race, Hartley has been dropped from the front group. Lynn and Suarez are now working together. Hartley's trying to get back on with a big effort trying to bridge up. But it looks like he's somewhat off the back there. It'll be a good effort if he can make it back. And there he is. Hartley's putting in a big move trying to get back up there. They're 70 meters, maybe 10 to 15 seconds in front of him. And it's going to take him quite a bit to get up to him. And they are not waiting for him. Lynn doing 3.7 watts per kilo on the front there. Hartley's going to have to do at least greater than that to gain time on him. And it looks like they're really putting the pedal to the metal to try to stay away there. So as the Cat 3 guys go up this sharp incline, we got a couple people getting dropped off the back of the group there. We'll see if they can't work together to make it back on. And I do think, with this being a longer race than is usually experienced on a virtual platform, the race of attrition, I think once you get over those 45-minute, 1 hour time slots that people are used to racing, you get into the unknown zone where it's your body kind of looks at you and says, why are we still pedaling a bike? Why are we still here? And things start to change really quickly. You start to feel the fatigue quite a bit when you get over that. So there's about 10 kilometers left of this climb, if you will, this big, long uphill drag that starts the race off. The last 2 kilometers of it, last kilometer, kick up a little bit more. So it effectively, the first 25K of this race just slowly gets harder and steeper, if you will, until it's a long downhill drag for about 12 kilometers, a kicker, and then at 45 kilometers into the race is when they start the climb, and it's 5K of pain. I think that's where we're going to really see a split in the field, and you're going to see the cream rise to the top for who's feeling good today. Looks like Schaefer in the Cat 1 race here up in the webcam, wiping the sweat off his face. The important part here with virtual racing is to really just keep cool. You got to keep your core temperature down and riding indoors. You've got fans. I know some of the professional virtual guys use a dehumidifier and a portable air conditioning unit in their training studio, in their pain cave. To keep the temp down. I've seen people wear ice vests, put on a damp rag, really just anything and everything to try to keep your body cool as you continue to ride hard and just sweat and hurt yourself. Cat 2 race here, still all together. Looks like a little bit of a reduced field, but front group here is about 15 to 20 people, and they are averaging 25 kilometers per hour, 20K into the race with 230 meters of climbing completed already, only 1,000 meters more to go. Sheppers on the front of the field now, as well as up in your webcam, just tapping on the pedals and essentially just going through the motions right now. Just doing what you have to stay with the group, keep the pace going, work with your teammates until we get to the climb where the splits are going to start happening, and the talking in the field will cease as breathing takes more of a precedent. So we've got a little attack here in the Cat 2 race. I really think all these guys, Sheppers, Alex, Rowbottom, the orange helmet guys and the Watt Bike kits, I do believe this is a team working together, coordinating probably on Discord or some other communication. They're on the front setting the pace, and Swanepoel just comes over the top of them with a monster attack to gap the field off. Again, 53 kilometers, 1,000 meters of climbing left. It'll be a long day in the saddle solo, but we'll see if he gets joined by anybody. And it looks like he sat up. No one wanted to come with him, so he'll come back into the field and we'll get a reset there. Looks like we've got an attack from Melville in the Cat 1 race. Just picking the pace up, going into the red there a little bit. They've hit a big little. They've hit a kicker here in the race, hitting up 5%, 4.5%. And it looks like a couple people have tried to use that to their advantage, see if they can't get something going here with a little breakaway. Looks like Mike Lister and Revel are really putting in the effort to try to get up the road a little bit. The field has caught them though. Blackburn's going to counter. And Oosborn, as well as Project Echelon's Eric Hill, are going to follow. So again, we've got about 2 kilometers until we hit the top of this first long drag uphill. Again, about 25 kilometers, they'll peak out on this and start the downhill run into the climb. That downhill run is relatively, it's about 12 kilometers. And again, there's a little kicker and then another 5 kilometers until they hit the base of the climb. Average pace of the Cat 1 race here is about 39 kilometers per hour. They're really moving, especially when you look at the average gradient being 1.5% for the first 25K. Looks like you've got some people down in the Cat 3 race trying to mix it up a little bit as they hit up one of these little steep uphill sections. Just trying to keep the pace high. Looks like Robinson and Beckett are really driving the pace there. Really an international field here. This is one of the great things about virtual racing, right? Is you, without having to leave your house, can race with people across the world. Really get a fantastic experience you otherwise might not be able to. Race with some people that you'd never get a chance to race with in real life. In the Cat 1 race, looks like we've got Eric Hill from Project Echelon put in a big move. A lot of red numbers there. If you're not aware, Eric Hill is the owner and CEO of Echelon Racing League, my business partner there. And he's also the owner of Project Echelon Racing, a veterans nonprofit using exercise to help veterans deal with PTSD and focus their efforts to cope. Project Echelon Racing.com. If you want to check that out and donate for Giving Tuesday, would be great. Mike Lister just came over the top though, and really we've got a nice little selection here. Lister really going. Mike Swart from Restart Racing joining him, and as well as Seb Wolf and Eric Hill. That field's really trying to catch him. We'll see what happens. Mike Swart is a super experienced virtual racer. knows what he's doing. Looks like they've all been caught. We've peaked that climb, and it's going to be relatively downhill for the next 10K. I don't think we'll see it being taken easy, though. I think these guys are going to continue to drive this pace as they hit 59, 60K per hour. Looks like a couple people got dropped off the back as they hit it really hard over the top of that climb. It's going to be really tough for those guys to get back on with this downhill and the speeds this field is moving at. Again, about 40 people started this race. Looks like we're down to about 25, maybe 30 in this final group here. And we'll see that continue to dwindle down. We're starting to get into the next 20 minutes will be about the peak of what most of these people are used to racing. And so you'll start to see that fatigue add in real quick. The Cat 2 race is hitting that same little peak they're about to crest. Really putting in a big effort to get over the top there. A lot of red numbers from riders. There they go. Oh, big split happening in the Cat 2 race. It's like we've got Wanapul and Alex getting over the top there with a decent little gap. Alex trying to get back on with these two guys as they gap him just a little bit coming over the top, and it doesn't look like he's going to get back with them. It looks like the field's going to catch Alex, and these two with a decent gap, 30 meters and opening as they continue to go. Let's see if they can keep up the effort to stay away. Field really putting in a big effort to try to chase though, and it looks like they're going to get caught by at least a selection. Big split in the field there. Looks like we've got 5 riders coming across. We're going to have we're going to have a selection of 7 riders here as we continue on this long downhill run to the final climb. Big action happening in the Cat 2 race. That second group there, the chase is really putting in a big effort to try to get on. Looks like they're going to make it back. Looks like we're going to have a front group of 11 in the Cat 2 race. Might get a little bit larger as there's a second chase group back there that might make it back on also. Mostly all together now, but couple riders dropped off the back. But it is a long downhill. We'll see if they can't make it. Cat 3 race is going to be hitting that same section as they crest the top here in about 3 kilometers. And the 2 guys in the Cat 4 race are going to be just behind them. They're only about 0.2 kilometers off the pace of the Cat 3 race. So it looks like we've still got, it's like 11 riders all together in the Cat 2 field. Cat 1 field, we still got, again, about 25 riders. They're still on this long drag downhill. They're going to hit the kicker here at about the 37 kilometer mark. So they've got 6 kilometers more of mostly downhill with a bunch of these little bumps they're going to come in contact with, and then they will hit that kicker. That's about 1 kilometer long, and then they'll have 5K until they hit the Gila monster. John Crane here, just sitting on the back for Restart Racing. John is a super experienced e-racer as well. Probably one of the more well-versed RGT racers in the field today. Looks like a big attack in the Cat 2 race again by Alex's team. Again, all 4 of them on the front, just trying to TTT this and line it out. Looks like in the Cat 3 race, as they get up this climb, we've got an attack from one rider trying to get away, but it looks like they brought him back. Looks like we've got, 5 or 6 folks in the Cat 3 race here trying to get something going, get a little gap there. And it looks like, it's a good chance of it. I think we're really going to see some fireworks in this Cat 3 race here in another kilometer as they hit the steeper peak of this long drag uphill. Here's all our riders up on their webcams, really just putting in work trying to get it going. It's really interesting to see all the different pedaling styles and a different style room raider, if you will, than the traditional office zoom. Austin Post really hitting it hard there out of the saddle. So the Cat 3s are just now hitting the steep part of this long climb. We'll see if there's any fireworks that come from there. Numbers are starting to turn red. Looks like they're definitely putting the pressure to the field there and lining it out. They've got 0.4 kilometers before they get over the top for the Cat 3s. Looks like we've got 2 guys who are actually opening the gap on the remainder, maybe 3. Big moves in the Cat 1 race. Really going single file there. Looks like a couple splits opening up as well as you continue to hit it hard. Cat 3s, it looks like we've got a group of 6. Excuse me, a group of 5 with 1 chaser making it over the top. Big gap to 7th place there. Let's see if Pew can get up to this front group of 5 on this descent. It does look like this might be our selection though for the run into the climb. although they are sitting up a little bit. It looks like they're not willing to work together yet. Pew makes a tune and goes right through and continues going. Looks like Melville trying to put in another move in the Cat 1 race there, while there's another move going from Nut and Alex in the Cat 2 race. Lots of action across all 4 races right now. Cat 4 guys just crusted over. Suarez gapping off Lynn a little bit, but I'm sure Lynn will get back on. Hartley's 1.1 kilometers behind them. These two have a huge gap, and we'll see how the run into the climb is going to go for them, and how that separates out as we start going up. So they're back together now. 31.6 kilometer per hour average. Really, the two of them are putting in an immense amount of work. It's a long day for a 2-up breakaway. So we'll go back here and look at all 4 races. See how it settles out on this downhill section. Cat 1 guys should be hitting this little bump on this downhill section here in about another kilometer. We'll see if anyone tries to get a big attack over the top of it. Cat 3 race is down to, looks like 5 or 6 riders. While the Cat 1, here we go into getting ready to start this bump. You can see it up in the upper right there on the profile. The Cat 3s, we've got 5 riders with a good gap. Here's the Cat 1s going up this big kicker, really big attack, a lot of red numbers. They are not taking it easy before this big climb. Mike Lister really going hard to try to get some separation. Taking Bowen with him. Good effort. It's all brought back together, though. Let's see if a counter goes. So the situation with the Cat 1s hitting the halfway point just now. We've got them all together. Looks like a group of about 20 to 25 still. They're about 10K from the start of the final climb. They're still in this long uphill. Or excuse me, this short uphill, short little climb in the middle of the descent. Still putting in the work though there in the Cat 1 race. They're still on this uphill. They're almost at the top of it, but you can see the pain in Schaefer's face there. This is a monster effort to get here, and we're not even at the climb yet. So they make it over the top relatively all together, a little spread out, but I think it's all going to come back on the downhill. The Cat 2 race is all together as they're starting this uphill here in a second. The Cat 3 race, we're down to a group of 5. Seem to be working pretty well together. There's one guy in no man's land there in 6th. And then in the Cat 4 race, we've got 2 riders still who've been in a breakaway together for about 20K with a guy in no man's land there, Hartley in 3rd. Long day in the saddle for those guys. Cat 2 race, we're going on up this short climb now. Big gaps opening as Alex hits it hard with Nutt chasing and Slater right behind him. Big gaps open. It looks like somebody just dropped a grenade in the field, just hole after hole. Nutt gets over the top of that little first riser solo. Good gap. He recovers a little bit through the halfway point banner there. They're going to come back together, and then they're going to hit the second part of this climb as Wanapul just goes right through and keeps hammering. Great counter move. Alex trying to chase. Gets on the wheel. And it's going to turn uphill right now. Nutt again goes to the front as they go up this climb, putting the pressure on everyone. Looks like we've got a little selection there. We'll see if it holds or if they're going to put them all back together. Cat 1 race is starting to fire up also, getting a little strung out there. And the Cat 3 race is getting strung out a little bit. Cat 2's hit the steep part of this climb before they start the downhill approach to the Gila monster. Here we are watching Blackburn from the UK in the Cat 1 race here. Good little move to go from the back to the front relatively quickly through that turn. Looks like the Cat 3 race has dwindled that group of 5 down to a group of 4 now. They've got 3K before they hit the climb. A little bump in the road and the approach to the Gila monster. These 4 seem to be working relatively together. You can see the rider sitting in the draft, recovering while one pulls hard. It doesn't look like they're attacking each other too much. 5th place is about 145 meters, 150 meters back. 6th is half a K back. I'll be curious if those 4 guys work together over that climb and keep their little group of 4 together, or if they're going to attack each other over it. My money, if it were me, I would want to keep the group together and save the attacks for the Gila monster. They'll hit that at about the 45K mark. checking out the Cat 1 race, watching Blackburn again. These guys are motoring pretty fast as they're on this false flat downhill approach into the proper climb of the day. It's looking like Seb Wolf putting in a big effort, big attack to get off the front. Lister, his teammate, trying to go with him. It does look like this Cat 1 field has been reduced quite a bit in the last 10K. Looks like we're down to about 15 riders in this front group in the Cat 1 race now. They started with 44. Sebastian Wolf here. He participated in the Paterberg race as well, qualified for the professional race. One of the things we're doing at the Echelon Racing League for these community events is the non-professional racers who finish the top 10 non-professional racers in these races in the Cat 1 for men and the Cat 1-2 for the women automatically qualify for the professional races. So the top 10 amateurs in this field right here will get an invite into the proper stage race for a tour of the Gila next weekend. Give them a chance to get discovered by the professional teams and when the transfer season comes up in December for those teams that need additional riders for one reason or another, will be aware of those community riders who have continuously qualified for these big races. So we're about an hour in now, and looking at our webcams here, riders are still going, just kind of tapping it out again. You've got so many different pedaling styles. Schaefer there getting a little bite to eat. Really just all of them motoring. It's at this point, it's just tap the pedals out and get ready for the pain that will be the Gila monster. In the Cat 2 race here, we've got a good group of 7 making a selection here. This group of 7 now has almost half a K on the rest of the race. They exploded dramatically in the last 5K. Our group of 4 is still together in the Cat 3 race, and our 2 breakaway riders in the Cat 4 race are still together, and it looks like we still have our field of 15 in the Cat 1 race. Cat 3 race is going to start this little bump in the road here in a second, in about another half kilometer or so. Beckett just dangling off the back here a little bit. He shouldn't have a problem getting back on. And the Cat 1 guys have started the climb proper. This climb is about 15 kilometers long altogether, from 45 to 60K. There's a little downhill between 55 and 57K, and then it goes up again. But overall, it's generally uphill. Let's go to the Cat 1 field and see how they're doing on this. We see the gaps already opening up on this climb. Again, this section of the climb before they hit a little false flat downhill is about 5 kilometers. The Above and Beyond Cancer guys, as they showed us on the Stelvio race in the professional group, in the professional race in the RGT Railroad stage race, really are great climbers. Zach Nair from Project Echelon lead in the climb here. With Sebastian Wolf and Melville and Warner right up there with them. Looks like we've got a little group here in the Cat 1 race. Cat 2 race is going to be starting this climb here in about 1 kilometer. The Cat 3 race is finishing up the little climb before the final descent to the base of the Gila monster. And it looks like they've still got 4 riders there. They are not taking it easy on this climb in the Cat 1 race. Sitting at about 5 watts per kilogram for the top 10. They get over that first little section there, and they're going to keep going up. The Cat 3 race, as they hit this the little climb, starts to fragment that group of 4, but they're keeping it pretty decently together. Gaps being closed as they climb. Cat 2 has hit the base of the Gila monster with 1 rider going up the road a little bit. The Cat 1 race, Melville puts in a big dig with Wolf following. Revel on his wheel as well. Alex putting in a major effort here. 20-meter gap. A lot of red numbers there. They're really going into the red for what they have in front of them. I do believe this is gonna hurt them here in about 20 minutes. They're gonna regret this big dig. Swanepoel goes over the top of Alex, as does Villeneuve. Alex settles in at 4. Swanepoel and Villeneuve get a nice little gap on the rest of the field there. It's really splintered now, and we've gone from 7 to a group of 2, a chase group of 3, and another chase group of 2. Really international field here again. Looks like we've got looks like it's just pairs coming up the climb here with our front group of 2, a chase group of 2, another chase group of 2. Cat 4 race, looks like Suarez has distanced Lynn. Not sure if it was a power dropout, an e-mechanical, if you will, or if it was a leg mechanical. They are at the hour 7-minute point, and as I was saying, the fatigue really starts to sit in and at around now. The Cat 1 race is 27K from the finish. They've got about 13 kilometers left of climbing. Before they hit the top of the Gila monster, that is. And then they'll descend down, and then the last 4 kilometers of the race are a climb as well. Cat 3 races, our group of 4 is back together, working well together before they hit the climb. The Cat 2 race looks like we've got a group of 4 coming together was Wanapole going with another big dig. Villeneuve in the red trying to cover it. In the Cat 1 race, we got Seb Wolf leading the effort with Zach Nair and Newsborn sitting on his wheel along with a couple others. Nair pulls through. Newsborn digging pretty hard, lining the front group out here a little bit. Warner putting in a big dig. Getting a little bit of a gap there on the other 6 riders. Just settling in at 5.5 to 6 watts per kilogram. Revel putting in an effort to try to cover and get up to him with Nair on his wheel. It looks like Revel's going to catch and go over the top. And everything's back together in the Cat 1 race. Cat 2 race, it looks like our group is together here, a group of 4 riders, 100 meters back to another 2, and then another 100 meters back to 7th place. In the Cat, looks like these 4 riders are going to just kind of ease up, and then again, they're going to take an assessment as to what's going on and see how the reactions occur. They are hitting the steeper parts of this climb, 13%, now 9%. They're working really well together. No big attacks going, although the pace is pretty high for this part of the climb. So probably not much there in the legs to put an attack in right at this moment. Cat 3 race has about 3 kilometers before they hit the base of the climb proper. Group of 4 of them. Looks like 5th place is about 400 meters back, and then 6th is another half kilometer behind them. Suarez really putting in a big effort in the Cat 4 race, again, solo. Lynn trying to catch. He's not too far back and might be able to get there. All the riders on their webcams looking much different now than they did 10 kilometers ago. Everyone really putting in a lot of work trying to stay with the groups here. Cat 2 race is really starting to blow up now. Scott Frey putting in a big effort to get off the front there with Villeneuve and Nutt trying to close that gap to him. The 3 of them have a 10 to 12 meter gap on Swanepoel. And it looks like the three of them are now the selections want to pull off the back by about 90 meters. Power to weight's really gone down, and it looks like he's kind of cracked. Let's see if he can stay away. Looks like fifth and sixth might catch him, and we'll see how that goes. Really, they went really deep at the base of that climb, and that takes a big toll on the legs. Now we're looking at it. Looks like we're about 2 kilometers for the Cat 3 race before they hit the climb. The Cat 1 race is still motoring up it. Looks like it's a group of 5. Millville has been dropped from that selection, as has Seb Wolf. They're both about 150 meters back. Zach Nair put in a pretty big dig as they hit 12%. Usborne trying to cover with Warner right behind him. Suarez still just motoring here by himself off the front in the Cat 4 race. Here we are in the Cat 1, Zach Nair touching into the red numbers a little bit there on the power to weight with Usborne covering, trying to get a little bit of a selection made out of the selection they're already in. Looks like Nair and Usborne have about 15, 17. Looks like they're opening the gap there on Hardin and Revel, as well as Warner. If they keep this pressure on, they should be able to hold that gap. Here in the Cat 2 race, looks like we're down to 3 riders in the selection, Frey, Nutt, and Villanova. In the Cat 1 race, it looks like Nair and Usborne have opened that gap quite a bit to 3rd, 4th, and 5th. This is one of the little false fly downhills they hit through this climb as they motor towards the finish. Revel, Hardin, and Warner are putting in a lot of work trying to get back up to those 2 front riders. Looks like they're working relatively well together, the 3 of them, and have a decent chance. It's 50 meters now to the front 2. Our Cat 3 riders have started the climb now. No one going super crazy at the base of this climb yet. For the Cat 3 guys, group of 4 still together. Looks like the gap is opening in the Cat 1 race, Usborne and Nair motoring away from Warner, Hardin, and Revel. In the Cat 2 race, our group of 3 is working really well together. They've opened that gap significantly to 4th and 5th, 200 meters in opening. Cat 4 race, Suarez will start to climb here in less than a kilometer, with Lynn not far behind him. In the Cat 1 race, looks like Revel is distancing his 4th and 5th place guys and is trying to solo bridge across to Oosborne and Nair. Doesn't look like they're going to let him go, though, and bring him back into the fold. Cat 3 race is splintering. In the Cat 1 race, we've got Revel and Harden and Warner working. They're trying to catch. That gap is opening to Oosborne and Nair, though. It's 75 meters, 80 meters now. I do believe they're going to be racing for 3rd place now. But if Oosborne and Nair do start playing cat and mouse, we could see them catch back on, especially if they keep the effort going. One thing is for sure, every racer doing this race, cats 1 through 4, man or woman, definitely going to want to hit up the Hyper Ice website if they haven't already and get some recovery products, because they're going to need it. This is a monster effort from everybody, and it really becomes racing your own race at some point. Looks like Suarez has hit the climb now and is motoring, trying to climb up this thing in the Cat 4 race. All these racers are really putting in efforts, trying to pedal in any fashion they can, put out as much power as they can. Looks like the Cat 3 race has started to split up a little bit. One rider off the front with the 20-meter gap to the 3. Not much of a gap, but looks like it's opening a little bit. Beckett really trying to set his pace here. Group of 3 trying to bring him back, but we'll see how that goes. If Beckett can hold this effort, it looks like he might be on his way to crushing this climb solo. In the Cat 1 race, looks like Nair and Oosborne have really opened up that gap quite a bit. Although I might have spoken too soon, because it does look like the chasers are getting closer. The Cat 2 race, we're down to 3 riders still at the front. 4th place is a couple hundred meters back. 3 of them working well together. And in the Cat 4 race, it looks like Lynn has made it back to Suarez. The 2 of them are riding together now. Big solo effort by Suarez and a bigger solo effort by Lynn to get back on after getting dropped by Suarez. And Lynn puts in a monster attack to open that gap up on Suarez. Super impressive move coming from Lynn with 28.4K to go in the race. And he is really distancing Suarez quite a bit. We'll see how long he can hold this effort as that is a monster effort from Lynn. In the Cat 1 race, back here with Oosborne and Nair, Above and Beyond Cancer and Project Echelon, respectively. Harden and Revel trying to bridge across. They're only 23 meters back, and it looks like they're going to catch back to him. Warner's been dropped. He's 20 meters behind, trying to get back on his footing. He might get back on as well. 15 meters and catching. Looks like Revel's about to make contact. It looks like our group of 2 at the front is now a group of 3 and maybe going to be a group of 4. It'll be interesting to see if Harden and Revel, how long they can stay with these front two. If Nair and Usmar were just recovering and start to hit it hard again after that monster effort from Revel and Harden trying to catch back on. Cat 3 race here. We got a big split happening. And it's just individual riders riding up the climb at this point for the top three here. Beckett's been caught and countered. We're about 6K from the top of the Cat 1 race, and we're about 9K in the Cat 2 race as we see our group of three here. Cat 3 race, it looks like it's still solo riders for first, second, and third. Actually, I take it back. It looks like third, fourth, and fifth are all together now. And the Cat 4, Lynn is distanced Suarez tremendously as he motors up this climb. What's interesting, and I think it's something to say, is if you look at the power to weights these riders are putting out, the flats, as in real life, the flat roads tend to benefit the heavier riders as it's more of a pure power game, whereas these climbs proper like this tend to benefit a lighter rider who can put out a higher power to weight. As you can see, Lynn is putting out a significantly larger power to weight than Suarez. In the Cat 3 race here, we have Oraz soloing away from everybody else, just super distanced. Beckett, Bennett, Butler, and Pugh. In the Cat 1 race, we still have our riders, our group of four. Looks like Warner did not make it back. He's still trying. He still might get there. He's not too far behind him. It's going to depend on what the front group does. Right now, it looks like they're getting some decent recovery on this downhill before they hit the final part of this climb. All the riders really showing the pain faces now on their webcams and their pain caves. We are an hour and 26 minutes into this race. Warner is putting in a monster effort trying to get onto the back of these guys in the Cat 1 race. The Cat 2 race, our top three are riding together, working well together with 21 kilometers to go. The Cat 3 race, Oraz is just walking away with it. Back on the Cat 1 race, it looks like we've got our group of four, two above Beyond Cancer guys, Usborn, and looks like Warner, who has finally made it back to the front group here. We've got Harden, and then we've got Project Echelon's Zach Nair. They're starting to go uphill again now after hitting that little descent for a little breather. We've got 16.4K to go in the Cat 1 race, 20.8 in the Cat 2, 25.8 in the Cat 3, and 26.4 in the Cat 4. It's impressive. The Cat 4 race has been able to keep pace with the Cat 3 race so closely, especially with it being just two guys riding together for the majority of the stage in the Cat 4. The category system that Echelon Racing League has set up is initially self-selecting. The higher category you race in, the better the series points are. But with no category system really existing, the decision was made to just gauge it off your experience and ability. Cat 1 race, guys are putting in a pretty big effort. Usborne driving the pace now as they've started climbing again. In the Cat 2 race, we've got Nut, Villanova, and Frey riding together. 4th and 5th are over half a kilometer back behind them, riding together. And then 6th and 7th and 8th are all riding together another 300 meters behind them. It looks like we're going to have some disparate groups riding in together with the Cat 2 race. The Cat 1 race looks like Warner got gapped off a little bit more, but made it back. We've got 5 guys in the Cat 1 field in the front group there. Again, this series wouldn't be possible without our partners: Saris, Hyperice, Biomoto, USA Cycling, ZMS Livestream, and RGT Cycling. If you've not tried RGT before, give it a shot. The basic membership is free. Load it up. You can train, you can ride, you can race. They've got some great courses on there to check out. Cat 1 guys have about a kilometer before they'll hit the top of this climb. A little over a kilometer. And Warner has been dropped from that front group again in the Cat 1. Phenomenal effort trying to get there and getting back to him and staying with him. But as the road turned up again, it just became too much for him. He's backed his power off. He's one watt per kilo less than the front group now, just trying to get some recovery and get to the top without getting caught. So our front group for the Cat 1 race is Usborne, Hardin, Nair, and Revel. In the Cat 2 race, it's Frey, Villanova, and Nut. In the Cat 3 race, it's Oraz by himself, followed by Beckett by himself. And then looks like 3rd and 4th are riding together there. In the Cat 4 race, it's Lynn just soloing with a phenomenal effort. Suarez, a couple hundred meters behind him, solo as well. And then Hartley, a kilometer behind him, doing his best to finish his race as strong as he can. It's a the interesting part is all these categories, and the women who race up next at 3:40 p.m. Eastern, they're all doing the same course, same distance, same climbing, and they're all in their individual fields. So it is not only are you racing against the other racers, but it's a race within yourself as well. Here's our front group in the Cat 2 race. They're doing great effort here, working really well together to stay ahead of everyone else. Fourth place is a kilometer back now. Fifth place is almost another kilometer back. Here in the Cat 1 race, Revel putting in a little bit of an effort on this downhill. They're going to hit this little kicker here in a second, and then I do believe from there it's downhill for the next 5 kilometers. Then they'll hit a little bump in the road, another 2-kilometer descent, and then it's the last 4-kilometer climb to the finish. Pretty big efforts here in the front group now. They've all had a little time to recover. They eased back a little, and now they're starting to hit it hard again. Not sure what happened to Oraz in the Cat 3 race. No, maybe a power dropout. He has fallen back to 6th with no power being put out right now. He is on the side of the road with a mechanical. Beckett is now in the lead with Bennett in second, and then a small group of 3, it looks like, sitting for third, fourth, fifth. Just like in the real world, there's mechanicals in the virtual. So the Cat 1 has started their descent. 12K to go in that race. The Cat 2 guys are about 3 kilometers from hitting the top. Beckett in the Cat 3 race has a 10 kilometers or so, 12 kilometers before he hits the top. And Lynn in the Cat 4 race has actually overtaken the leader of the Cat 3 race and is continuing to motor. This descent must feel good for those Cat 1 guys after that 15-kilometer climb. Give them a chance for a little bit of recovery before the next part of climbing starts to kick up. You can see their power to weights have fallen off dramatically from where they were going up the climb. Except for Rebel here, who really wants to drive this pace. Looks like the Cat 2 guys have about 2 kilometers before they're going to crest the top. Beckett is still motoring solo. Still not sure what happened to Oraz. He's back pedaling again, though. He's sitting in 8th place now after a unfortunate E-mechanical. The Cat 4 race, Lynn is still motoring and starting to distance Beckett in the Cat 3 race. Suarez is about a kilometer behind Lynn, really motoring himself with a good gap over Hartley still. You have to imagine, 90 minutes in, 100 minutes into a race with a very little coasting has to take its toll. And I'm sure all these riders across all categories are really starting to feel this effort. In the Cat 2 race, looks like Nutt is got a little bit of a gap here on Villanova and Frey. Maybe caught them on their back feet a little bit. They're all back together though. And as they get back together, Nutt kicks it up a notch again. And as Villanova and Frey catch Nutt, looks like Frey puts in a little dig to try to get a little gap with a nice little counter there on Nutt's effort. But they all come back together, and Nutt counters Frey. It's a impressive effort there. We see our riders on webcam. They're all starting to really show those pain faces. Nutt putting in a monster dig here. Villanova trying to close. Frey caught out in that counter move by Nutt. Just attack, counter, and it seemed to stick. Frey's off the back a little, trying to get back on. Villanova gets up to Nutt, and the two of them are motoring. Frey's 35 meters, 40 meters off the back, and really trying to get up to him. Villanova puts in a big dig, though. And it doesn't look like these front two guys are really going to wait for Frey. In the Cat 1 race, we're down to 6.8 kilometers to go. Our group of 4 is still together. And in our Cat 3 and 4 races, Beckett and Lynn are still motoring solo off the front of each. Villanova and Nutt are really digging deep to keep Frey off the back. They're not giving him any chance of catching back on right now. Frey is still trying though. Looks like he is mashing those pedals any way he can. In the Cat 1 race, we got our front group of 4. They've got about a kilometer or so before they start the final climb to the finish. Sorry, 2 kilometers. That final climb is 4K. Starts around the 70-kilometer mark. It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out in these final 4 kilometers of climbing that they're going to have. Looks like Will Hardin's not going to wait for that final 4 though, as he puts in a big dig to get off the front, get a little gap on this descent. Looks like Hardin's starting to feel it a little bit as he eases off slightly. The Cat 2 race, Villanova and Nutt are still motoring, keeping Frey off the back of them a little bit. Beckett and Lynn have really settled in on theirs in the 3 and 4 race. Doesn't look like Villanova and Nutt are really working too much together. As you can tell, they're not leveraging the draft too much, riding side by side rather than one behind the other. They are on a big descent, so it doesn't matter too much right now. But Villanova is just putting out raw power. So the Cat 1 race is going to start the final climb here in a second. And here we go. In anticipation for the professional race next weekend, you can check out Echelon Racing League. Check out the teams. Check out the stages coming up for the virtual tour of the Gila, and visit our merchandise partner, We Are Nations, and pick up a T-shirt or a hat. Proceeds from merchandise sales do go back to support the teams, as well as support the series as we continue to grow and improve it. We do appreciate any feedback from viewers or racers, so you can contact us via the website or comment on the stream, and we will make sure to address any and all comments as they come up. Cat 1 guys are 3.4K from the finish, 3.3K from the finish. They're on the final climb now. Zach Naird driving the pace for Project Echelon Racing. In the Cat 2 race, Frey is doing everything in his power trying to get back to those guys. He's only 30 meters back, and I do believe he has a good chance at catching on. He is really digging deep trying to get there to these guys. Villanova looks like he's become aware of that and really putting in a monster effort to keep the pace high at the front, really make Frey chase. True North American battle going on here. US versus Canada. Villanova is just not playing any games. He's dead set on not letting Frey catch back on. In the Cat 1 race, looks like Harden is falling into a little bit of difficulty, as is Revel, gapping off quite a bit in that front group. This happened on the proper climb earlier in the race as well, where Usborne and Nair went off by themselves. Looks like Revel has been dropped from that front group in the Cat 1 race. Frey is digging deep into the pain cave, trying to get up to these guys. He is 10 meters from the front, and look at that. He is caught back on, takes a breather, coasts a little bit, and tries to catch his breath. They've got 3.5 kilometers before they start the final climb. In the Cat 1 race, we've got a group of 3 now. Revel's 80 meters off. It looked like there was a big dig as the road kicked up in a steep pitch and caught him on his back foot and then gapped him off there. He's still putting in a pretty good effort trying to get back on. 1.7K to go. We're going to keep it here at the Cat 1 race for this final 1.5 kilometers. See how this plays out. They're ticking up the effort there, riding in 5 watts per kilogram, right in the threshold zone. Harden and Usborne trying to get in the draft there, sitting at 25 kilometers per hour, 24. The road is kicking up a little bit, 5%. Looks like they are trying to play a little cat and mouse, see who's going to get the draft and who doesn't. Nair's looking over at Harden going, no, I'm not going to close to Usborne. You do it. Usborne takes a big effort. 1K to go, Banner. Usborne digs, Harden goes. Little cat and mouse here. $700 meters to go. Just a monster effort coming from all 3 of these guys. Oh, Harden comes around. Nair gap just a little bit. Everyone in the red. Zach putting in a big effort. Just goes right over the top and keeps it rolling. 380 meters to go. 350 still has a big gap. Can he hold it? Usborne looks like he's trying to make up ground. It's going to be close. 200 meters to go. Usborne's about to catch Nair. Harden on his wheel. Usborne, big effort. Nair really putting the power down. 150 meters to go. I think Nair, oh no, I don't know. It's going to be close to call. Nair holding it. Nair going hard. Usborne gaining. And it looks like Nair's going to hold on to it for Project Echelon. Above and Beyond Cancer, it's Oosborn for second and Hardin coming in for third. Revel with a phenomenal effort coming in to take off fourth. Let's go ahead and see the Cat 2 guys. Let's see where they are and how they're going to come in for the finish here. Looks like Nut has put a little distance on Villanova. Frey is 95 meters back. They've got 3.9K to go. Villanova's putting in a really big dig, trying to get over to get back up to Nut. He's 30 meters off the back. He gets too far back there. Frey might smell blood in the water and really put in a dig to try to get up there and take second. Out of sight, out of mind only works if you're out of sight. And there's Frey just in the back there, trying to get up to Villanova. Villanova clawing his way back up to Nut. Looks like Nut's really digging here. Villanova's really just smashing those pedals, putting out the power, trying to get back up here to Nut. Less than 3K to go. Frey putting out a monster effort trying to close those gaps as well. A lot of red numbers here in this Cat 2 race as we approach the finish. 2.7K to go. Frey looks like he's closing on Villanova, less than right around 30 meters to get up to second place there. In our Cat 3 race, they've got 15 kilometers to go, and Beckett is still tapping on the pedals with almost a half kilometer on Bennett. In the Cat 4 race, Lynn is just demolishing it. Looks like he has slowed down just a little bit, but is just really motoring away. Congratulations to our top five in the Cat 1 race: Zach Nair, Oosborn, Hardin, Revel, and Blackburn. Phenomenal racing from all 5. I was wrong on the time. If anyone remembers back to the start of this, I said I thought the Cat 1 men would finish in about 2:15. They actually finished at 1:55. Just phenomenal speed flying through this course today. This will be an interesting finish with these guys. All of them just dangling within eyesight of each other. Got to make them hungry and really push that adrenaline to get them going harder. Nutt's still motoring with 1.5 kilometers to go. He can taste that finish line victory. Villanova's really putting in a monster effort trying to get up to Nutt. And Frey is right on his wheel, just 80 meters back, trying to do the same to him. Everyone hungry to get one step up further on that podium. 1K to go for Villanova. Nutt ticks up the effort quite a bit more. He can taste that victory, less than a kilometer to go. There's Nutt, 600 meters to go. He's really trying to get there, putting in a monster effort for this solo win. Outstanding effort to take the victory in the Cat 2 race. I think he's got it locked up unless something dramatic happens here at the finish. Nutt coming in for the finish here, 320 meters to go. Frey putting in a monster effort, though. Let's keep it on Nutt, but we're going to just keep an eye on those numbers to the left there. Frey putting in a monster effort trying to catch Villanova there here at the end. Villanova putting in a monster effort trying to catch Nutt. Might be just a little too late. 150, 175 meters to go for Nutt. See if he gives the crowd a little wave at the finish here. Outstanding victory from this guy. Great effort all around to take the victory in the Cat 2 race. Villanova coming in with a good, strong finish for second. And Scott Frey coming in to wrap up the podium for third place here. Outstanding effort from all these guys. Fourth place here, really putting in an effort. He's Greenhall's really trying to get here and finish this up with an absolute monster effort. Again, this course really, it's you're racing everyone else, but it's really a race against yourself as well. These climbs, you really are, racing within yourself and really pushing your own limits, regardless of who is in front of you, behind you, or next to you. $350 left to go. $150 to go for fourth place here, and it's going to be a great effort and an awesome finish for Greenhall here. Locking up fourth place. We got Reed back here with 500 meters to go, coming in for fifth place. Great job from Reed here. Less than 300 meters to go. Reed finishing out the last 100 meters to wrap up the wide angle podium for the Cat 2 race. Great job from Reed to take that fifth place in the Cat 2. And a phenomenal race here in the Cat 3 and 4. These two guys, it's almost they're racing against each other, with each of them within a half kilometer of each other. Both just motors in their fields, soloing away and holding it off. Less than 10K to go for both fields, Cat 3 and 4 for the solo riders in the front. Interesting enough, in the Cat 4 race, Hartley has caught Suarez and distanced him a little bit to take over the second place position. He's got about a 200 meter on Suarez. Lynn having a real standout performance in the Cat 4 race today, a mere 7 kilometers in front of second place. Beckett putting in real work in the Cat 3 race off the front here with 1.8 kilometers to back to second place. And another 0.4 kilometers back to third place. This final climb has really made it a race of attrition and just riding within yourself to get to the finish. Beckett's still motoring away here, just trying to keep a nice consistent pace. I don't want to say he's got it locked up. Oraz, who had a really large gap when everyone had a huge mechanical early on, slid back to 8th place, has made his way back up to 7th. And is still working up through the field. 6.7K to go for Beckett. Looking here at 3rd place in the Cat 3 race. I might screw this up, but Boodler motoring along, just trying to, again, at this point, it's just keep a consistent pace, ride within yourself, try not to blow up. He's got about 280 meters back to Pew in 4th, and he's got 900 meters to get up to 2nd place. But it is looking, barring any major catastrophes, like he's going to have 3rd place locked up. Again, make sure that you tune in next week to the professional tour of the Gila, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 3 stages, a criterium Friday, a circuit race on Saturday, and this stage, the Gila Monster, on Sunday. Watch a lot of the professionals, men and women, take it on, and check out the results and the merchandise on the Echelon Racing League webpage at echelonracingleague.com. Suarez here in the Cat 4 race really has third place locked up quite a bit. Hartley caught him earlier in this final climb and was able to get around him. Now has 1.2K on him. Fourth place is back another 1.5 kilometers behind Suarez. So again, barring any major catastrophes, Suarez is going to have third place locked up, Hartley second, and Lynn first. Lynn has a mere 9 kilometers in front of third place Suarez here. Really a breakout ride for that guy. You might want to look at racing in the Category 3 race next race for Bucks County and Armed Forces. What's interesting is with the RGT physics, Lynn, who is doing a phenomenal ride here with this monster climb, might not do so well in a crit where rather than the overall power to weight matters, it's much more short, hard efforts jumping out of turns and on a flatter course. Just as in real life where a criterium rider is probably not a great climber and a climber is not a sprinter, same physics go along here in the platform that is RGT cycling. Make sure after you watch these guys finish up before the start of the women's race here in 20 minutes, make sure that you check out hyperice.com for all of your recovery needs, as well as check out Saris and pick yourself up a smart trainer so that you can jump on here and participate in the next one, December 13th and 14th. Beckett just continuing to tap out pedal stroke after pedal stroke. Motoring towards the finish, 3K to go. I'm sure he'll be ecstatic once this race is over and he can lay on the floor and recover. I know that's where I would be. This has been a tremendous effort from Beckett. Really doing a great job here. Really by all the riders. Again, this course, it's one of those where it's so hard that you're racing the course more than you are the other racers. And it really comes down to just riding within yourself so that you don't blow up from the finish. About 1.5 kilometers left for both our Cat 3 and Cat 4 leaders. Less than 1 kilometer to go for Lynn, our Cat 4 leader. Less than 400 meters to go for Lynn here as he comes across. Phenomenal effort from this guy. Great job by Lynn here. Phenomenal finish.
Turn your camera on.
Unmute. If anybody can hear me, I cannot get into the race. Is anybody else having this trouble? It's stuck on.
Yeah, hey, this is Frank. We all are. We're all having the same problem.
legs are on fire. My heart is on fire. Any ounce of energy that is left in my body is going into this sprint. Since I started racing last year, it has completely changed how I see myself. When I get on my bike and I start moving, it's physical white noise. All of a sudden I can think about things. You got the wind rushing past, and you just zone out. Before every race, you're so nervous. But as soon as that whistle blows, that all has to melt away. It's almost like I race because you told me I can't. Because you told me I shouldn't be here. Today, I win.
Normatec recovery systems give you a high-tech compression massage for warm-up pre-workout and recovery post-workout.
The technology is very safe and is used by a broad range of athletic types and really any fitness enthusiast looking to get the most out of their workout.
The whole idea is that we're using air compression to help increase circulation in the body. We wanted to mimic physiology, the way the body moves fluids. We went ahead and took a lot of those principles and put it into a system that you can use on your different extremities and your hips as well.
Normatec has been an industry leader in pneumatic compression, providing improved mobility and profound healing for thousands of patients. We continually work with researchers to study and develop the effectiveness of our technology.
It's all about creating that community space where people have a conversation around recovery and start really challenging their beliefs in what is possible and what they've known and maybe what could be.
The USA Cycling Foundation funds the Olympic dream and our nation's best young athletes, giving young riders the opportunities to compete at the highest levels of competitive cycling.
Riders who have represented the USA in the World Championships and the Olympics are an inspiration to all of us. The USA Cycling Foundation supports the complicated development process for these athletes. And that's critical not just for our best athletes, but also for developing the next generation of athletes. And this is only made possible by generous private gifts from cycling enthusiasts like you.
I am Taylor Wiles, and I'm a professional cyclist racing for Trek Drops and the U.S. national team. The USA Cycling Foundation has supported me for nearly 8 years. The USA Cycling Foundation has been critical in supporting my career and helping me get over to Europe to race over there, racing the World Championships, and the camps that we get to do to prepare for nationals and World Championships are all supported by USA Cycling.
Hi, I'm Kate Courtney. I'm a professional mountain bike racer and part of the USA Cycling national team and the current elite women's cross-country world champion. If USA Cycling hadn't supported me in my cycling pursuits, I'm not sure I would have had the opportunity or the ability to set my sights on really being competitive in Europe. Thank you to the USA Cycling Foundation for believing in me, for supporting me, and for continuing to encourage me and other riders like me to set their sights on the top level.
Please support our athletes and teams with a tax-deductible gift today. Visit our website to make a gift online. Your gift will fund training and racing development programs for our nation's best young cycling athletes. Please make a contribution today.
As an athlete, getting marginally better is one thing. Getting exponentially better puts you in a whole new ballgame. Biomoto uses a proprietary digital process to capture movement at 200 frames per second and 70 sensors per foot to measure ground-based forces, resulting in advanced motion analysis that's up to 10 times more accurate than orthotics. It's the data generated by this process that allows Biomoto to construct custom insoles that make athletes faster, stronger, and more stable, and result in an unprecedented 95% success rate.
Project Echelon is a veterans nonprofit organization that educates, equips, and empowers veterans through physical activity. Serving veterans from coast to coast, the Project Echelon racing team and its industry partners work to make the support of cycling more accessible to veterans and their families as a means of both physical and mental wellness. You can donate to support this cause at projectechelon.org.
My legs are on fire. My heart is on fire. Any ounce of energy that is left in my body is going into this sprint. Since I started racing last year, it has completely changed how I see myself. When I get on my bike and I start moving, it's physical white noise. All of a sudden I can think about things. You got the wind rushing past, and you just zone out. Before every race, you're so nervous. But as soon as that whistle blows, that all has to melt away. It's almost like I race because you told me I can't. Because you told me I shouldn't be here. Today, I win.
Normatec recovery systems give you a high-tech compression massage for warm-up pre-workout and recovery post-workout.
The technology is very safe and is used by a broad range of athletic types and really any fitness enthusiast looking to get the most out of their workout.
The whole idea is that we're using air compression to help increase circulation in the body. We wanted to mimic physiology, the way the body moves fluids. We went ahead and took a lot of those principles and put it into a system that you can use on your different extremities and your hips as well.
Normatec has been an industry leader in pneumatic compression, providing improved mobility and profound healing for thousands of patients. We continually work with researchers to study and develop the effectiveness of our technology.
It's all about creating that community space where people have a conversation around recovery and start really challenging their beliefs in what is possible and what they've known and maybe what could be.
The USA Cycling Foundation funds the Olympic dream and our nation's best young athletes, giving young riders the opportunities to compete at the highest levels of competitive cycling.
Riders who have represented the USA in the World Championships and the Olympics are an inspiration to all of us. The USA Cycling Foundation supports the complicated development process for these athletes. And that's critical not just for our best athletes, but also for developing the next generation of athletes. And this is only made possible by generous private gifts from cycling enthusiasts like you.
I am Taylor Wiles, and I'm a professional cyclist racing for Trek Drops and the U.S. national team. The USA Cycling Foundation has supported me for nearly 8 years. The USA Cycling Foundation has been critical in supporting my career and helping me get over to Europe to race over there, racing the World Championships, and the camps that we get to do to prepare for nationals and World Championships are all supported by USA Cycling.
Hi, I'm Kate Courtney. I'm a professional mountain bike racer and part of the USA Cycling national team and the current elite women's cross-country world champion. If USA Cycling hadn't supported me in my cycling pursuits, I'm not sure I would have had the opportunity or the ability to set my sights on really being competitive in Europe. Thank you to the USA Cycling Foundation for believing in me, for supporting me, and for continuing to encourage me and other riders like me to set their sights on the top level.
Please support our athletes and teams with a tax-deductible gift today. Visit our website to make a gift online. Your gift will fund training and racing development programs for our nation's best young cycling athletes. Please make a contribution today.
As an athlete, getting marginally better is one thing. Getting exponentially better puts you in a whole new ballgame. Biomoto uses a proprietary digital process to capture movement at 200 frames per second and 70 sensors per foot to measure ground-based forces, resulting in advanced motion analysis that's up to 10 times more accurate than orthotics. It's the data generated by this process that allows Biomoto to construct custom insoles that make athletes faster, stronger, and more stable, and result in an unprecedented 95% success rate.
Project Echelon is a veterans nonprofit organization that educates, equips, and empowers veterans through physical activity. Serving veterans from coast to coast, the Project Echelon racing team and its industry partners work to make the support of cycling more accessible to veterans and their families as a means of both physical and mental wellness. You can donate to support this cause at projectechelon.org.
My legs are on fire. My heart is on fire. Any ounce of energy that is left in my body is going into this sprint. Since I started racing last year, it has completely changed how I see myself. When I get on my bike and I start moving, it's physical white noise. All of a sudden I can think about things. You got the wind rushing past, and you just zone out. Before every race, you're so nervous. But as soon as that whistle blows, that all has to melt away. It's almost like I race because you told me I can't, because you told me I shouldn't be here. Today, I win.
Normatec recovery systems give you a high-tech compression massage for warm-up pre-workout and recovery post-workout.
The technology is very safe and is used by a broad range of athletic types and really any fitness enthusiast looking to get the most out of their workout.
The whole idea is that we're using air compression to help increase circulation in the body. We wanted to mimic physiology, the way the body moves fluids. We went ahead and took a lot of those principles and put it into a system that you can use on your different extremities and your hips as well.
Normatec has been an industry leader in pneumatic compression, providing improved mobility and profound healing for thousands of patients. We continually work with researchers to study and develop the effectiveness of our technology.
It's all about creating that community space where people have a conversation around recovery and start really challenging their beliefs in what is possible and what they've known and maybe what could be.
Normatec recovery systems give you a high-tech compression massage for warm-up pre-workout and recovery post-workout.
The technology is very safe and is used by a broad range of athletic types and really any fitness enthusiast looking to get the most out of their workout.
The whole idea is that we're using air compression to help increase circulation in the body. We wanted to mimic physiology, the way the body moves fluids. We went ahead and took a lot of those principles and put it into a system that you can use on your different extremities and your hips as well.
Normatec has been an industry leader in pneumatic compression, providing improved mobility and profound healing for thousands of patients. We continually work with researchers to study and develop the effectiveness of our technology.
It's all about creating that community space where people have a conversation around recovery and start really challenging their beliefs in what is possible and what they've known and maybe what could be.
The USA Cycling Foundation funds the Olympic dream and our nation's best young athletes, giving young riders the opportunities to compete at the highest levels of competitive cycling.
Riders who have represented the USA in the World Championships and the Olympics are an inspiration to all of us. The USA Cycling Foundation supports the complicated development process for these athletes. And that's critical not just for our best athletes, but also for developing the next generation of athletes. And this is only made possible by generous private gifts from cycling enthusiasts like you.
I am Taylor Wiles, and I'm a professional cyclist racing for Trek Drops and the U.S. national team. The USA Cycling Foundation has supported me for nearly 8 years. The USA Cycling Foundation has been critical in supporting my career and helping me get over to Europe to race over there. I'm racing the World Championships, and the camps that we get to do to prepare for nationals and World Championships are all supported by USA Cycling.
Hi, I'm Kate Courtney. I'm a professional mountain bike racer and part of the USA Cycling national team and the current elite women's cross-country world champion. If USA Cycling hadn't supported me in my cycling pursuits, I'm not sure I would have had the opportunity or the ability to set my sights on really being competitive in Europe. Thank you to the USA Cycling Foundation for believing in me, for supporting me, and for continuing to encourage me and other riders like me to set their sights on the top level.
Please support our athletes and teams with a tax-deductible gift today. Visit our website to make a gift online. Your gift will fund training and racing development programs for our nation's best young cycling athletes. Please make a contribution today.
As an athlete, getting marginally better is one thing. Getting exponentially better puts you in a whole new ballgame. Biomoto uses a proprietary digital process to capture movement at 200 frames per second and 70 sensors per foot to measure ground-based forces, resulting in advanced motion analysis that's up to 10 times more accurate than orthotics. It's the data generated by this process that allows Biomoto to construct custom insoles that make athletes faster, stronger, and more stable, and result in an unprecedented 95% success rate.
Project Echelon is a veterans nonprofit organization that educates, equips, and empowers veterans through physical activity. Serving veterans from coast to coast, the Project Echelon racing team and its industry partners work to make the support of cycling more accessible to veterans and their families as a means of both physical and mental wellness. You can donate to support this cause at projectechelon.org.
legs are on fire. My heart is on fire. Any ounce of energy that is left in my body is going into this sprint. Since I started racing last year, it has completely changed how I see myself. When I get on my bike and I start moving, it's physical white noise. All of a sudden I can think about things. You got the wind rushing past, and you just zone out. Before every race, you're so nervous. But as soon as that whistle blows, that all has to melt away. It's almost like I race because you told me I can't. Because you told me I shouldn't be here. Today, I win.